Hi guys, it's me, Tiffany. So we got our first freeze yesterday night. It got down to 27 degrees, and I just want to go and check and see how my plants are faring. So come along with me. So this is my Olympian fig. When I got my Olympian fig, it was about 4 inches tall, maybe about that tall. It's grown a lot. It's now about 2.5 feet, which is good. And it was still trying to grow when it should have been trying to go into dormancy, but I think it's got the message now, and the leaves got burned, so I'm sure this will go into dormancy now. As you can see, my strawberries did just fine in the cold weather. I've actually got to dig these up and get the weeds out of them and thin through them and replant for next year. Carrots did just fine in that 27-degree weather. If you notice, I have a blue pot and a white pot here, and this is my first year that I've grown artichokes. I think artichokes come from warmer climates, so I really don't know how they fare in the cold weather. So what I did is, you can see that they're larger leaves. I pretty well cut them off, and I did that so that I could get the pots down over them. And let me go ahead and remove one of these pots. So I just left a little bitty bit of the artichoke, and that looks really good. I'm kind of surprised at this plant here. I think this is a hollyhock. I tried to plant it in the spring, summer. It didn't do really great. It actually, I thought, died. But now it's coming back, and we had that freezing cold, and it seems to be doing okay. I don't know what this spotted leaf deal is about, but the newer leaves seem okay. So something that I'm really interested in is what's going on under my shade cloths. And there are mustards and cabbages and all kinds of things in here. And you can see that my cabbages look good. It's hard to get back down in there, but the Brussels sprouts and other things, they look pretty good. So these plants were unaffected by the cold. This is a little wine barrel that I had emptied out, and I planted some goji berry cuttings like that, and that. Those are goji berry, and they look okay. And just to fill it out, I stuck some brassicas in there. I'll be honest, I don't know if these are cabbage or Brussels sprouts. I kind of just started sticking things. That looks rather like broccoli to me, but they're doing pretty good. And then I noticed back here I had some nasturtium growing, and that nasturtium is no longer growing. So back here in this rectangle, I have some sweet peas or English peas. So from what I've read, the peas will freeze. So I'm just going to look under here and see how these are doing. I know that in the past, sweet peas have done fine for me in the winter, but I don't know how the fruit's doing. So I pulled this back, and you can see a jungle of peas. You can see that I have flowers. They look like they're okay. This is what I'm worried about right here. And I mean, that, I think it's okay. I will come and check on it, a few days from now, and see if it still looks like the fruit is forming and is going to actually produce peas. Something that I'm really excited about is my greenhouse. So I decided to add another layer of plastic, hopefully to give me a little bit more insulative value. And I also put some more weather stripping in here. And this thing did phenomenal last night. So you see I have a cord running in there, and that's because I have a small 400-watt heater. Just in case it gets to freezing, that heater will kick on. So let's look in here. So you can see, like, right around here, the insulation that I added. And things in here are doing great. It's actually hot. I can feel the heat coming up out of here. And you can see down here is my little 400-watt heater. And it is about 3 feet away from things, so it'll be just fine. And I even have some tomatoes right here in this pot. They're volunteers, and they are doing just fine. So one thing that I really appreciate about this greenhouse, I monitored this. I do have a temperature probe in here. It's actually right here. It's hard to see, but that's it. And it sends readings into my house. And last night outside, the temperature got to 27 degrees. In here, the lowest the temperature got was 40 degrees. And that's Fahrenheit, of course. So this is giving me at least 13 degrees above the outside temperature. However, I do want to say, if you notice, like today is fairly sunny. So what's happening is that this greenhouse is building up heat, and things like I have some water jugs in there, and even the soil and just things I have in there are storing heat, and they release the heat back at night. Now, a problem is if we have a really overcast day, and let's say it doesn't get above 40 degrees and the sun's not out. This is when this will have trouble because it doesn't have that stored heat because there was none. And that's why I need my little heater in there just in case. And that heater is plugged into an outlet that kicks on at 35 degrees Fahrenheit and cuts off at 45 degrees. So my aim is not necessarily to keep this toasty warm like 60 or 70 or 80 degrees. My aim is to keep the plants from dying. So something that I have noticed in the past is that when I plant aloe right here on the south end of my home, this faces the south, like that aloe can take some pretty rough temperatures. And see, it was 27 degrees and that aloe looks great. Now I probably will need to actually put some mulch here, like leaves or something, because it's a little too exposed. But it did great this first deep freeze we had. Here was my last little tomato holdout. I was shocked that this thing had tomatoes and was still growing in November, but the frost got it and it's pretty pitiful. Rest in peace, little tomato. On this side of my yard, I have my mound garden, and things are looking pretty good over here. Right here in this first bed, I have garlic and onions, and they're still doing good. In this second bed, I have onions, and they're doing good. I'm having a little bit of issue with them getting dug up by my chickens and other things. So I'm right here by my mound garden, and it's so funny how much I fuss over my plants trying to get them to grow. And if you notice, right beside my mound garden, I must have dropped some seeds. If we look closely, like this is Chiji Misai, Asian green. This looks like it might be cabbage. Looks like there's some mustards. There's probably cabbage, more cabbage here. And so here I am fussing, trying to cover stuff up, and it's growing in my yard like a weed. So here I have 2 mulberry plants, and I had noticed that these mulberries had not gone into dormancy by any means, and now I'm seeing that their leaves got burnt. They weren't this like dark green, they were like a pale green, but hopefully these plants will go into dormancy. I know they've done a good job growing. Both of them have grown at least 5 feet this season, but now it's time for them to rest and come back out in the spring and hopefully give me lots of good mulberries. For all the pawpaw fans, here's my row of pawpaws. You can see that the leaves have dropped. They're down at the base, and these pawpaws are asleep for the winter. And over here is what I call my orchard. You can see I was having issues with some grass, so I just put a bunch of leaves down there as mulch, and I actually covered the leaves with black landscaping cloth, hopefully to get rid of all that grass. It's like that running grass, and I am having a problem controlling it. But regardless, you can see that I still have some blueberries that need to go into dormancy. My persimmons have dropped their leaves. There's one right there, almost done dropping its leaves. And that one in the back, the leaves are totally gone. So guys, that's pretty much it. I think things fared really great in this 27-degree weather. We are predicted to get, for the rest of this week, like lows down into the 30s, and even there are 2 nights that say 25. So hopefully my plants will be just fine. Generally they are. Again, I'm really happy with my little greenhouse over there. She's done great so far, and hopefully she'll continue to do great. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.